Welcome back to The Author's Edge. I am your literary Sherpa, Allison Lane here. And I gotta say, I am hearing from a lot of you of how do I make this shift? Or I've reached the top of my career and now I'm doing things that keep me from doing what I liked about my career. You don't have to wait for permission to do what you want to do next. And shocker, you don't have to earn your right to do what you do next. You don't yet even have to justify it. And I want to explain that in a way that one opens the door because you don't need permission and the door was never there. Also, if you say, well, I should have done this 10 years ago, there's no timeline for change. You're not behind the eight ball. There is no eight ball. And if you're waiting for that perfect moment to start sharing your message or getting on stages, if you have always thought, I should be doing a TED Talk, like there is no should, there's just, what are you going to do now? All of this is possible. You don't need to justify your change or how you're expanding because we don't have to do that anymore. Isn't it great? Oh, it's so freeing. Today, I'm so happy that we're joined by Ashley Stahl, who is, aside from being a spectacular badass, she is a counterterrorism professional turned career coach and best-selling author and keynote speaker. And if anyone can shake you virtually and show you that there is a way, it's Ashley. So Ashley, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad that we met and that I took that picture of you in the hallway at the summit, because I think people, they don't realize that you don't need to earn your way to expand your ripple effect.
Yeah, a lot of us have gifts, and I feel like knowing what our gift is really a super highway to having a career that we want. And so many people are focused sometimes on asking themselves, what am I passionate about or interested in versus what am I really good at? And how do I get better at that thing? And how do I offer something to the world that is tied to that thing that I'm so good at? And how do I pour my time into just being magical? And for me, my agency's helped craft more than 100 signature talks, a lot of them for the TEDx stage. We've helped book a lot of clients, help them secure their spots on many stages, including the TEDx stage. And what I've found over and over again is that when we hire people, we hire writers, and it's some of the best writers of our time, having written shows like Grey's Anatomy or White Lotus or shows like that, some shows that I grew up watching. These writers that we have are not struggling, and they are some of the highest paid talent in the world for writing. And, one of them was telling me the other day she gets paid $50,000 for one episode of television, and it's 48 minutes, which is 16 pages typed. I just think in word counts. But
Right.
I'm like, okay, there is always room on top for you to make the biggest impact as long as you know where your gift is and you're cultivating it.
People don't know what their gift is. They need to justify it. But I want people to understand the old way of making a career shift was that you were told, make a list of your transferable skills, which still sounds like you have to justify, I have this skill. And that's not something that we're taught, to think bigger than your job description. And it's okay to make the leap of, what do you do naturally that's good? People don't, they often don't see what's so special about them. But you've made this incredible pivot from national security to helping people develop their platform, stepping into their voice, stepping on stage, understanding that there is an audience of people who are eager for what they can share and helping them strengthen their credibility, sometimes just for themselves. Like, how many times have you heard, I wouldn't really call myself an expert? Like, you don't get to decide what people call you. If we think you're an expert, you are. And they already told me no. I mean, it's kind of rude, right? So you've made this incredible pivot. What did that journey show you is possible when it comes to personal power?
I mean, a lot of people don't know what their gift is to answer that piece of it because they spend a lot of time being somebody they're not, and they make a lot of commitments doing things that they don't actually want to do because they have limiting beliefs that tell them that this is the way to succeed or get by in the world that we live in. And so I think anybody who wants to get closer and more connected to their gift needs to ask themselves, what am I believing about myself, about the world, about life that is getting me to choose the thing I'm choosing that doesn't feel good for me, that doesn't feel like it's my gift? And do I want to keep believing it, or am I willing to see things differently? Because there's a whole population of people out there that would say that they're very in line with their purpose and what they really want to be doing. And work isn't always your purpose, by the way. Like for the new mother, having a baby is the purpose or whatever it is. But there's a whole slew of the population section of it that is totally in its purpose and that is not struggling with their gift. And at any given moment, we have the opportunity to become owners of our life even more. And so I think asking yourself this question is really what they mean when they say do the work, right? Like the work of what are the thoughts? What are the beliefs? Do I want to keep them anymore? Do these work for me? So I say that's the start. You asked me something else and I completely just went on a whole rampage here.
I think non sequiturs are good, especially if because things need to be said. I think I asked you, what can we learn about personal power?
Right.
What's possible? What did you learn?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned over and over again is that you can change your life at any time. You can change it all the way. You can wake up tomorrow and say, who I've been this whole time, I'm not going to be this person anymore. And you can actually literally have a completely different reality in a very quick amount of time. I worked in national security during the Obama administration, and I had this moment on a military base where I just realized like this isn't where I want to be and this isn't the path for me. The next week I was in Los Angeles, no longer in that career, and all my box were shipped. A lot of people resist change when really that change requires a very inconvenient weekend. And if you just suck it up for that 48 hours, it kind of reminds me of my mom. She's amazing. And she's been bugging me to clean out my closet at her house from my bedroom from elementary school. And I've avoided it like the plague. I'm like, I'm not even opening that closet. There's not that much in there. I just didn't want to do it. And I felt so bad this past weekend. I did it. And I thought, wow, that really just took an hour of my focus. And my mom has been asking me this for years. And it was so like, it put so much pep in her step. Oh, you cleaned out the closet. She was so happy about it. And I just thought, wow, this is literally how changes with life. Like, cleaning out the closet usually takes an hour, but we'll spend 2 years thinking about cleaning out the closet. And
Oh,
so, yeah, like anybody who's thinking right now, oh my gosh, how do I make this change? Whether it's
oh,
a relationship change or I love how you can see my wolf dog behind me, by the way. I think that there's a lot of people listening right now where is that change that you would need to make that big? And I think what also stops a lot of people is, but what if it doesn't work? And what we don't realize is that you need to dive into the messiness in order to figure out what works.
I think you've hit on something is people are nervous. They think I'm not ready yet, or need to think about it more. Like, do we need to think about it more? They think their story isn't big enough.
Right.
Is compared to what? If you don't know how to tell your story, maybe you're telling it wrong. Or maybe that's not the part of your story that's going to be as universal. Or you're going, I call it going for the jugular. You're like, you're trying to teach your method. Nobody wants to be sold to. They want a story.
Yeah.
And, a TED stage or a keynote is not the place to give your sales pitch for your book or your program. It's a place to tell a story that invites someone along. You're so good at that.
Mm.
What would you say to someone who's been holding back from stepping forward for some reason?
Yeah. I would say everybody has a story. We've helped get more than 100 people their TED Talks or other speaking engagements, South by or whatever have you. Everybody who comes in, they have a story. And obviously, if you have one of the best writers in the world, we can make going to the grocery store sound like a real ball. We can make the most basic story magical. But everybody, if you go back in time and you look at the power of story, it's how so many collectives processed the human experience and made sense of their lives. Or you look at art like hieroglyphics, it's really storytelling, right? Like old art is telling stories, it's communicating. And I would say, if you don't know what your story is, think more about moments in your life that meant something to you, that changed the way you think. Because usually in those moments, there's a whole story to be told. There's a big distinction between bringing people into a story and talking about a story. Talking about a story is saying that you went to the mall yesterday at 2 o'clock. Bringing people into the story is helping them smell the mall, feel the mall, touch the mall, know how you were feeling in the mall. Big difference if you said, at 2:12 p.m., I walked into the mall and there was this scent of Cinnabons and this really cold air. And I grabbed my jacket. I looked around at all the lights in the stores and I realized it was about to be a great day. Right? Just made that up. But like, it's the
I
difference.
do love the freaking Cinnabon, and now
I know.
I know.
Why do malls
Right.
always smell like a freaking Cinnabon? It's so good. I know. I had kind of a shameful moment the other day. I landed at the airport. I got home to Los Angeles. And when you're at the airport, you give yourself a little snack before your flight. But when you like land and you're about to go home, you just go home. No, I went to the Cinnabon place and sat down in the airport.
Sometimes you just need like that frosting, but it's like a warm embrace from your Elma or
Yeah.
your grandma.
Yeah.
Like my Oma used to make things like that. We call them pull apart bread, but just feel like soothing,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're traveling. I've been surviving on like wilted salads.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when people often think, I want to tell my story, but really they also want to sell their book or they want to leave their role job and start a coaching business, or they're always thinking about like the following the money.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of inviting people along, and whether it's what I do, helping people shape their message into a book and then launching the book like a badass,
Mm-hmm.
or you do helping people shape their signature message and actually figure out what that message is and then deliver it beautifully. I think what always shocks them is that they don't realize that their one sort of loose idea is the big idea.
Well, that's the
That is the
thing.
most powerful.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that
Mm.
I find a lot of people struggle with, especially with the TED channel, because we're not affiliated with TED. We're just great at writing signature talks and booking them for people, regardless of the stage. But I would say is they talk about what's your one big idea. And I think that really trips people up and it really makes people have a very myopic focus if you want to do a TED talk, or a TEDx talk. What is my one big idea? I think it's really an awful question to ask a very talented person. I would instead ask, where is your most original thinking? Where do you have something to say? Because at the end of the day, if you look at people's lives, usually they only deeply believe 2, 3, or 4 things. If I ask you, Allison, what do you deeply believe to be true from your life that you've had so far? You're going to come back to me with 2, 3, or 4 thoughts. And so we often think, oh my gosh, what is my one big idea? There's so many ideas. But we only deeply believe a few things to be true when we tune into life and our experience. And then also, if we look at our most original thinking, I could talk about success. I probably could find some original thoughts about it. I could talk about leadership. My most original thinking is about clarity and storytelling. And so those are my 2 topics. And I probably have 3 to 6 things to say about each one of them. That's it. And I think that's important because a lot of us think, oh my gosh, we have to have so much to say. And my answer to that would be, well, not really. That's not the case.
Right. We don't want you to keep on rephrasing your mic drop moment. We want you to shut the hell up. Let it hang.
Yep.
People, when they hear silence, they think, oh, I need to explain what I just said.
Yeah.
No, zip it. Let it be this power quote that is meaningful. And then all the other ways you used to say that, delete. don't keep them around. We don't keep JV around. We just want varsity. Whatever the message is that you deliver that made varsity, yeah, we don't keep the second string. Stick with that. Say it to more people. Write it down. It's interesting. Your beliefs, your skills, storytelling, and clarity. Something I say often is there's always a way.
Yeah.
Most people, and I think we do kind of like, sides of a coin, like writing and speaking. Most people, when they meet me, they say, I have this idea for a book. Do you think this is a book? There is always a way. There's always a path to market yourself, your message, to reach the audience who is clamoring for you. You're just there yet because they are lamenting about something that they're lacking.
Right.
And of course, you're not there because you don't like it. You have the solution. You don't know that your audience, they're always together and they're always playing a drum, hoping you will answer the call.
Yeah.
So that is my belief, that there's always a way and that now's the time.
Such a good set of beliefs. I wonder what would happen for somebody if they moved into believing that.
Well, what happens is they think, I can't believe this is my life now. I started a podcast, which is, I'm just thinking about a client who 2 years ago, her book came out and she left her 20-some year career in the corporation. Now she has a podcast that's in the top 3% in the world. I had no idea this was possible. Like, why would you? Because you grew up in a corporation where every 18 months they gave you like more to do and like a make-believe title. Now you're assistant directing manager. Now that was my life too, hierarchical, meaningless job titles. And you don't have to be defined by any of that. You can certainly start believing it when you see other people and you go, hey, how did they get that? It's not because they're special. It's because they followed the path that already exists.
Yeah.
And actually, you're already showing people this is the path, people. You can talk about it on your podcast. You're really offering people access to awareness. This isn't a special path. It's not for only the people that Ashley picks out of a crowd, like Courtney Cox out of the, Bruce Springsteen picks her up and she's the only one. P.S. That was planned. And you're saying this is possible. And you don't have to work with Ashley. You certainly can. There are so many actions that someone could take to really see what's possible. And it starts by looking at someone else's success and instead of envy, think, thank God they did the hard stuff. Now I can see the path.
Yeah, I think that it does seem like in the world we live in, we meet some people and success looks really easy for them. And we meet other people, it looks really hard and they're always struggling. And obviously, we're all made of the same stuff. So the only difference is the thoughts we're having or maybe where we come from that cause some of those thoughts or not. But there are so many stories of people that come from hardship and create even better results than the people who didn't. And so if we really look at the world we live in, there is infinite supply of opportunities and resources to become who you want to be. And I would just say, anybody listening right now, speaking and getting on a stage is probably one of the most powerful ways to quantum leap that. Especially if you look at something like the TEDx stage, there's 43 million subscribers. It's the biggest stage in the actual world. YouTube is the second biggest search engine at Google. So you're getting on the biggest stage in the world, on the second biggest search engine of the world. And if you have the right title, everybody's going to find you. It's a party. And, people will say, oh, it's crowded. There's so many people on there. It's like, well, cream rises to the top. Like more than half of our clients are going incredibly viral right now. Why? Well, because they poured their heart into it and they were in alignment with what they really are meant to do or meant to say. And I think that is what life is really about when it comes to making an impact.
Ashley, like if I had an extra microphone right in there, that is it. When something you were saying made me think, I just want to flick a lot of people in the forehead. to make sure that they realize that by listing the reasons why not, you're creating self-imposed barriers.
Yep.
Oh, it's crowded. Or, oh, it's too late to start a podcast. Podcasting is crowded. I mean, wow, that's a lot of energy and a lot of creativity that you're using, creating boundaries that are make-believe. Nobody else sees them. But do I have to be the one to convince you that those are smoke and mirror? They are. So hopefully people can let that go. There are so many opportunities to boost your visibility and get out of your micro silo. Lots of people are big fish in what used to look like a big pond, but then when you're at the top, you're like, no, actually, this is very narrow. And then they get their panties in a bunch when they see somebody they have mentored pop out. How did that happen for them? I was their mentor. Like, yeah, but they made a decision to take action and ride it and say yes to the opportunities that came, whether it's pitching media or doing reels or starting a podcast or deciding that they are a keynote speaker. There is a difference between I'm going to try and be a speaker versus I am a keynote speaker. Declare it and make it happen. So what's one thing that people tend to overrate that they could be doing now?
I think speaking for free is like one of the most powerful ways to get practice. There's too many speakers that come in, and especially if we help them craft and land their TED Talk where they suddenly are getting a crazy amount of leads for their business. And they come to me all the time and they want to charge these really high prices out of the gate if they're not a seasoned speaker. And I always tell them, like, I gave my first TED Talk when I was like 24, 23 years old, never spoken on a stage in my life. And I felt anxious charging money out of the gate because I didn't even really know who I was as a speaker and I didn't have any knack or gift for it. The first 5 or 6 talks I got, because being on the TEDx channel just skyrocketed that, turned me into a speaker basically, but I didn't charge anything. And then the next 5 or 6 of them, I charged $5K a talk. And then the next batch, I charged $10K a talk. And then the next batch, I charged 15, then 20. And then I left my speaking career. I still speak sometimes, but largely I'm managing my company Wise Whisper. But yeah, and I ended up attracting an agent and getting licensing deals and getting a book deal and becoming a spokesperson for 5 years and so many different things. But it all started with me respecting my pricing. And it doesn't mean you play small and you have imposter syndrome. But I do think that if you're a new speaker and you're trying to charge 25K a talk, but you're not really sure if you can bring that value to the room, then don't do it yet. I think it's that simple.
Yeah, you've got to start somewhere and don't start by yourself.
Yeah.
Even if you start, if you don't already, follow Ashley and Wise Whisper Agency, see what she's putting out there and try out your messages or in a community. If you're in a community of writers, or just get out of your, whatever your little silo is. Because Ashley, you made $1 million from your talk.
Yeah, more. I made about 2 to 3 million from the TED, just from giving my TED Talks. Just the amount of leads that came in, like my coaching practice was just booked for a long time.
And to give those people access to a path that they didn't know. And sometimes it's just because maybe you're running a community center or you are chief of staff at a hospital. Like, you know, perspective for what's possible or what the path might be unless someone shows you. Why would you expect to automatically know that? Too much, it's unrealistic. Then people get in that system of like procrastinating. Like, maybe I should class on it. Maybe I should, let me follow this person with no milestones or time value. You're just going to continually learn and procrastinate while you're learning. You got to get out and do. Find that out, like Ashley said. Now, Ashley, as a best-selling author yourself, I know you're a fabulous reader. What is one book everybody should go out and read right now?
I think Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success has become like a little bit of a daily Bible for me. Like, I don't read the whole book in one sitting. I just read like one spiritual law every morning. It's 5 to 7 pages, and it seems like no matter how many times I read them, it takes a long time for them to really get etched into your brain and to see the world through them. But those have really quantum leaped my business, my career, my frequency, my relationships. So I read that book every day.
Awesome. I will have that in the show notes and yours as well, which PS, y'all, is called U-Turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as is your podcast, which is so delish. And I find myself like, wait, I missed something, like back, like 10 seconds at a time, like back. Wait, I need to get to a traffic light so I can scribble something down so I remember it, because it's not enough just to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's an action.
That
Like,
means a
I'm
lot.
going to go and get that book.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, you listen to podcasts on like 1.5 speed. I can't listen to yours on 1.5 speed. I'm like, no, I got to take it all in. And then I'm still back. Let me listen again, because sometimes the phrasing is like, ooh, that is a kick in the tuchus.
Yeah. Thank you for seeing that. I love when people see what I'm writing and like the intention and all that behind it. It means a lot to me.
I'm happy that feels good, but I think it's doing a service.
Mm-hmm.
We can't possibly know what's possible all by ourselves.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's why I'm called to do what I'm doing, because all of this should be easier, but it's not, because we're all freaking busy. You can't be an expert in marketing and also be an expert in neuroscience.
Mm-hmm.
I work a lot with medical providers and experts
Mm-hmm.
in their field, and they're busy doing the thing that they're an expert in.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I think that they know how to work inside the Google suite? They have a thriving medical practice.
Mm-hmm.
They're not using Google. They're using their like locked infrastructure. Like, why?
Yeah.
You're behind. You just are like totally nailing something that I couldn't do.
Right.
You got to be around people who can say, oh, yeah, of course you don't know that. Why would you? Let me show you. And I love that. I feel called to do it. And I feel really happy that 2 weeks before COVID, I quit my big time corporate job. So I led PR for Unilever and Burt's Bees and Body Shop and others. Without a business plan, I was like, I cannot take one more new boss. We're sitting through one more out the meetings. The 2 years of meetings for a global company, 2 years, it still hadn't launched a website.
Wow.
What? I couldn't do it. So I quit, and I've been doing this ever since.
Wow.
And I had to rely on others, see what other people are doing. That I knew, oh, I think I can make this easier. And I love that you do the same thing.
I've been an entrepreneur for so many years. I almost don't even know what it's like to not be one.
Being an entrepreneur I was not prepared for that. I was like, oh,
Good choice.
I'm going to need a website. Okay, well, what? I'm used to having like a staff to turn to. Like, can you build me a website by tomorrow? Sure, Allison, here you go. Those were some shocking days. Yes, my first website, it was an eyesore. And then my second one, I deleted by accident twice. And I still don't know how. I must have touched something inside of WordPress. I don't know. Now all my poo is on Kajabi, because it is Garanimals for entrepreneurs, and I like it. It is nice. And everything's under one umbrella, like the big circus tent. Like, I don't need to know how to connect everything. It's all there. It's only to party. It's all one big house party. Okay, Ashley, bring us home. Tell us what's possible if someone starts acting today. Because you said, don't try and figure out your one thing. Say it again so that people know that we leave just with what's your action and what's possible.
Yeah, I would say explore what beliefs you have about who you are, the world around you, and what's possible for you. Ask yourself, what am I believing about all that's making me choose this path I'm on now? And is this path I'm on now really honoring my gift?
Awesome. And when you do that, you who's listening while you're in carpool, picking up your daughter from dance practice or basketball practice, let me know. Somebody know. Because there is a big difference between what you know you should be doing and what you think you should be doing. And that sometimes you just need that invitation. Ashley, I'm so glad that you're reminding people that they can stop at any time. And the way to not just think about it is get a pencil and write it down. Just here's what's getting in my way. Here's what I truly believe. Write it out. That way you don't have to mull it. You actually do it. Because what you think about, you might bring about. But when you say it out loud, it actually freaking happens. Put it into the world and find your voice. So glad that you do what you do.
Thank you.
I don't know how to do it, but I'm glad I have you to follow.
Here.
Or yeah. You guys, if I know that you appreciate, because I get notes every week saying, I listened to you while I walked the dog, or do you think I have the story? First of all, please stop sending your manuscripts to me. You should not be sending your manuscripts to anyone except the literary agent that you want to represent you. But do send, let me know what you need to know and what you'd like to shout out. I also, P.S., need some reading material for summer. So tell me what you're reading so that I know what books I should be reading. And I want to ask, please share this with someone who needs it. Even if they haven't said to you, I really think I should be speaking. As an observer, we often know what the opportunities for people are around us are before they allow themselves to believe it. Send this to them and say, hey, I've been thinking of you, and I want you to know that this is possible. This is how I see you. You're such an effing badass. You should be doing this. Because Ashley just laid it out. Thank you so much, Ashley. And thank you for showing up for yourself and sharing this with other people, because first of all, it helps the algorithm when you share it. Leave a review. If you leave a 5-star review, I'm not asking for a 3-star review. I literally just, if you have 3 stars, I'd rather you just email me and say, here's what I also wish you did. That's fine. I'm open to feedback. Feedback is a gift, but you share it and let us know what you need next, because that's what I'm here for. Until next week, keep writing and finding your edge as an author.